Devarim, chapter 5. Then Moshe called to all Israel and said to them, Listen, Israel, to the laws and rulings which I am announcing in your hearing today, so that you will learn them and take care to obey them. Yehovah our God made a covenant with us at Horeb. Yehovah did not make this covenant with our fathers, but with us who are all of us here alive today. Yehovah spoke with you face to face from the fire on the mountain. At that time I stood between Yehovah and you in order to tell you what Yehovah was saying, because on account of the fire you were afraid and wouldn't go up onto the mountain. He said, I am Yehovah your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, where you lived as slaves. You are to have no other gods before me. You are not to make for yourselves a carved image or any kind of representation of anything in heaven above, on the earth beneath, or in the water below the shoreline. You are not to bow down to them or serve them. For I, Yehovah your God, am a jealous God, punishing the children for the sins of the parents, also the third and fourth generation of those who hate me, but displaying grace to the 1,000th generation of those who love me and obey my mitzvot. You are not to misuse the name of Yehovah your God, because Yehovah will not leave unpunished someone who misuses his name. Observe the day of Shabbat to set it apart as holy, as Yehovah your God ordered you to do. You have 6 days to labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is a Shabbat for Yehovah your God. On it you are not to do any kind of work, not you, your son or your daughter, not your male or female slave, not your ox, your donkey, or any of your livestock, and not the foreigner staying with you inside the gates to your property, so that your male and female servants can rest just as you do. You are to remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and Yehovah your God brought you out from there with a strong hand and an outstretched arm. Therefore, Yehovah your God has ordered you to keep the day of Shabbat. Honor your father and mother as Yehovah your God ordered you to do, so that you will live long and have things go well with you in the land Yehovah your God is giving you. Do not murder. Do not commit adultery. Do not steal. Do not give false evidence against your neighbor. Do not covet your neighbor's wife. Do not covet your neighbor's house, his field, his male or female slave, his ox, his donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. These words Yehovah spoke to your entire gathering at the mountain, from fire, cloud, and thick mist, in a loud voice. Then it ceased. But he wrote them on 2 stone tablets, which he gave to me. When you heard the voice coming out of the darkness, as the mountain blazed with fire, you came to me, all the heads of your tribes and your leaders, and said, Here, Yehovah our God has shown us his glory and his greatness. We have heard his voice coming from the fire, and we have seen today that God does speak with human beings and they stay alive. But why should we keep risking death? This great fire will consume us. If we hear the voice of Yehovah our God anymore, we will die. For who is there of all humanity that has heard the voice of the living God speaking from the fire as we have, and stayed alive? You go near and hear everything Yehovah our God says. Then you will tell us everything Yehovah our God says to you, and we will listen to it and do it. Yehovah heard what you were saying when you spoke to me, and Yehovah said to me, I have heard what this people has said when speaking to you, and everything they have said is good. Oh, how I wish their hearts would stay like this always, that they would fear me and obey all my mitzvot, so that it would go well with them and their children forever. Go, tell them to return to their tents. But you stand here by me, and I will tell you all the mitzvot, laws, and rulings which you are to teach them, so that they can obey them in the land I am giving them as their possession. Therefore you are to be careful to do as Jehovah your God has ordered you. You are not to deviate either to the right or the left. You are to follow the entire way which Jehovah your God has ordered you, so that you will live. Things will go well with you, and you will live long in the land you are about to possess.